Hi guys, gonna do this next 5-minute video. This one is gonna be on supplementary feed for sheep. Now, you might hear my parrot in the background because he's been very ornery today and he wants to keep making noise when I'm not paying him attention. But for supplementary feed for sheep, if you have a really good pasture, your sheep may need no supplementation, especially if you're just raising them for meat. If you're raising something like a Dorper, they usually don't need much of anything except when the last few weeks before they're about to be bred and the last few weeks before they're about to lamb. It's usually best to give them some higher protein and higher nutrition at those points to help them. But if you're dealing with something more specialized, like a good wool breed or a good dairy breed, you may want to put some more supplementation into them year-round, or at least in the most prominent parts, give them more supplementation than you would something like a straight meat breed. Now, you don't want the big part of their diet to be grain, because that's just not healthy for them. It's not what they are supposed to be on. They are primarily supposed to be grazers and browsers, eating what they find. They are not often going to find wheat seed. They are not often going to find tops of corns on the cob. Okay, they're not often going to find these plants, so they should never make up a big portion of their food. And but basically, where I'm getting my lambs from next month, about 2.5 weeks from now, where I'm getting them from, the current person has them weaned, and they are on pasture, and they are on some soybean meal, some corn chop, and some minerals, I believe she said. I'd have to look up the exact mix. Now, what I was looking into, soybean meal is okay. I definitely kind of want to cut that out some, though, make that a very small part of the mixture I use. I believe she said molasses was the other thing. He's just so noisy today. He's been in a mood all weekend. But so basically, when it comes to supplementary things that you can feed to sheep, you can do soybean meal, you can do cracked corn, you can do molasses, you can do beets, you can do like alfalfa cubes or alfalfa pellets. But like I said, these things need to be a very small part of their diet. I'm talking every day they are supposed to eat hay or pasture that equals between 2 and 3% of their body weight. Then you can probably give them about 0.5% of their body weight in these grains. And that 0.5% might still be a little high. Now, if you're trying to bulk up a lamb to get it to slaughter weight at a faster pace, then yeah, you can give them a little more grain to get them to that higher ratio weight. But for the most part, just put them on the best pasture or give them really good hay, and you'll bulk them out good if they're a meat breed. But a lot of people will put their cattle or their sheep or their goats or whatever the last month or so before they're going to slaughter them. They'll put them on a high grain diet, get them as big as possible, and then bring them to slaughter. But I said I don't plan to do hardly any meat culling. I want to sell as many of mine as possible to other people who are interested. And if I have an extra buck or ewe that just for whatever reason I can't keep because of my space limitations, or if no one wants to buy by the time it's getting close to a year old, then I will probably have to cull it and slaughter it for meat. Not a problem. They make good meat. They go in my freezer. They will get eaten and appreciated. But I would prefer them, since they are primary milk breeds, to be going for that. But yeah, those are the primary grains that you can get. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, molasses can be mixed in. Molasses is actually good for them if they love the taste of it because it's sweet. Almost everything on earth loves sugar, and molasses is a sugar. And it will basically encourage them to eat whatever you have it mixed with, and they will take it in easily. I'm going to make sure I pay attention more to the parrot before the next video. But there's a lot of good info about this out there. What grains are really good, what grains are good for fattening, what grains are good for lactation, what grains are good all around. And grains are really good for helping to train your sheep. If you want them to be really hand tame, you want them to be able to be put in a halter, and walked around, which is what I'm going to have mine halter trained. Is my plan. That's why I want lambs, so I can get them really good and halter trained. I'm hoping the one I get in fall will be at least fairly hand tame, so I can halter train her fairly easily. My setup, I don't have the ability to move them easily between a couple of my paddocks, so they need to be able to be halter trained. But yeah, that is all I was going to basically cover on the grains, is the types that are commonly used and the limits that you should have them on. Like I said, you can increase that limitation when they're lactating, or when they're about to give birth, or when they're about to be bred. But otherwise, if you're giving this on a daily basis, it only should be because it only should be because your pasture is not up to snuff and you don't have access to hay. But they always need some kind of ruminant, something hay or grass related for their rumen. So you cannot just give them grains. You cannot just give them bagged feed. They have to have something grassy. So that's it. We're at 6 minutes again. Sorry. I'm not going to do any more until the parrot has calmed down. Bye.